and welcome to Los Angeles and season's greetings from NBC Sports. Home field advantage at stake. As Marcus Allen says, this is a twilight doubleheader. First game in Los Angeles. Game next weekend, well, will be decided on the winner today. Will it be here in the Coliseum or at Arrowhead Stadium? As Nick Lowry kicks it off to the Raiders. 68 degrees, 65,000 here. And it's Jamie Holland for the Raiders. Buried at the 23-yard line as Todd Marinovich, at 22 years of age, from Southern California, #1 draft pick of the Raiders, takes his first official snap in the National Football League. A final word from the offensive coordinator, Terry Robisky and Art Shell. Here are the men who will protect him: Wilkerson, Wisniewski, and Mosbar going to the Pro Bowl. Veterans Montoya and Wright in the backfield. The versatile Marcus Allen with a blocker. Steve Smith, Galton Fernandez are wide, with Ethan Horton, the tight end, on his way to the Pro Bowl. When they go 3 wide, Smith out, Brown in. Wearing that number 12, a left-hander that will stir memories of the Snake, Ken Stabler, in the silver and black. Marcus Allen picks up 3 on first down. Tackled by Derek Thomas on his way to another Pro Bowl. There's the Marinovich clan. Dad Marv, a player with the Raiders, also went to Southern California. The wife Jan. Of course, the story well documented. Marv Marinovich raising his child to be a football player, quarterback, nicknamed Robo Back. Marinovich figures they'll try to establish the running game and spare him 3rd and long. Allen on 2nd down. Hit at the 29-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 3. Credit Dino Hackett with a stop. And here are the men in white: Smith, Saliamua, and Moss. Smith goes to the Pro Bowl. Martin, Simeon, Hackett, and Derek Thomas. 13.5 sacks for Thomas. In the secondary, Pearson for the injured Albert Lewis, and Kevin Ross at the corners. Porter and veteran Deron Cherry at safety. Everett and Washington come in the nickel. They spot the ball at the 30, 3rd and 2.
You'd have to think that Marinovich will have a running play called for him here. There's no need to throw the ball at this point.
He throws, and wide open but incomplete to Willie Gauld as he threw it low and outside. And Marinovich's first toss, not a very good one. He did not have a good practice yesterday. Seemed a little tight. He's as anxious and nervous as a kid on Christmas Eve.
Well, he just pulled away from the throw, and it fell away from the receiver. Very, very evident. He didn't lean into the throw. So he was more concerned about accuracy there than getting the ball to his receiver.
Well, the mother and the father feel it more deeply than anyone in this crowd. Troy Stratford drifts back to the 27-yard line, the former Dolphin, as Pro Bowl kicker Jeff Gossett. He's had a tremendous year, but that's not a Gossett-type kick for this season, as it goes out of bounds short at the 43-yard line of Kansas City. The Jets on Raul Alegre's 27-yard field goal at the end of the game, final seconds, ties Miami. They go into overtime. The winner of that one picks up the final playoff spot in the National Football League Super Bowl Derby, as Steve DeBerg huddles with this offensive line: Altzot, Grunhard, maybe the best of the lot, Grunhard, Lutz, and Baldinger. Barry Word starts. We'll see Okoye later. Bill Jones the blocker. Barnett and Thomas the wideouts, with Hayes the tight end. These men come in the flush, the 4 wide receiver set. DeBerg from his own 43 to Word. Flags fly as Word picks up about 5-6 yards to the 49.
We can expect DeBerg to be pulling that Raider front 4 off balance all day. His snap count, his cadence is one of the best in football. And each time we've seen DeBerg against the Raiders, he's pulled that defense just at the most inopportune time. So we just had it again. First play of the game, Raiders anxious. He pulls him offside.
Offsides, number 74. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Howard Rowe, the man in the weekend on NBC. Baldinger had a very, very tough time blocking the charge of the 49ers. So Graham, in his second year, gets the start at right tackle. 1st and 5. It's Word again, and the former star in the ACC at the University of Virginia to the 50-yard line. Ricky Ellison makes the tackle. Nolan Harrison, the rookie from Indiana, starts for Howie Long. Long will play in special situations. Golick, Davis, and Townsend. Townsend's had another superb year as a pass rusher. Moss, Ellison, and Benson are the backers. McDaniel and Washington at the corners. Lott and Anderson at safety. Long will come in the nickel in pass situations, along with Lewis and Dorn as extra DBs.
Well, the Raiders all year have played outstanding defense, other than the big play hits them every so often and wrecks their chances.
Barry Ward gets a hole. He's at the 40 and dragged down at the Raider 37. First down.
Now that was another example. They play excellent defense, stuffing people at the line. All of a sudden, Ward gets a big hole. John out. John Alt blocks Benson beautifully, number 54, and is all the way down to Ronnie Lott and Eddie Anderson before the tackle's made. So you'll see excellent defense, and all of a sudden a big breach in the front and a big gainer, and it's happened all year.
13 yards on that carry for Word. He's second to Okoye on the season. Again, it's Word. Boy, you see him duck those shoulders down and plow for an extra 3. He was hit at the 35 and carried the Raiders to the 32. Scott Tarzan Davis, number 70, in on the stop.
Telling him, but he's warning, don't go down low. But of course, Rob's going to get the job done. Thomas is going to do whatever it takes to keep Ronnie out of that support pattern.
It's Word again. It's been his entire drive, and he attracts half the Raider defense. Lott up there to support, along with Ricky Ellison. It'll be shy of the first down and bring up third and about 3.
Now, typically, here they come. Kansas City's receiving group, 4 wide receivers with McNair as a running back, and they'll go to that shotgun type offense. So you'll see Kansas City with 2 distinct styles of football. Power football, where they're big backs, and on any third down situation, spread the defense with 4 wide receivers.
27 yards on this drive, all on Barry Word carries. You saw Word go out. DeBerg yet to throw a pass.
Shotgun formation.
Good protection. And he misfires to the sidelines.
He had all the time he wanted. No penetration from the right-hand side. So it had to have been the pass coverage was there the entire team.
Barnett was the man he finally selected.
Now you'll see DeBerg dropping back, and it's man-to-man all over the front. And you'll see right there, everybody is handled all the way across the front. Nowhere to throw the ball. So in that case, it was coverage that forced the bad throw.
No play. Howard Rowe indicating delay of game. They did not get the playoff in time, so it's third down and 8 for Marty Schottenheimer's Chiefs from the 35-yard line.
Against that coverage, that last play, Kansas City's going to have to cross receivers and make it a foot race.
10 men on the line of scrimmage for the Raiders. Open man is Harry, but he can't pull it down. Emil Harry from Stanford, who grew up here in Los Angeles.
Well, it was going to be virtually impossible to complete a pass. The pass rush was a little better, but you see, DeBerg still has a nice throwing lane, but you see defenders underneath the receiver. Harry had no chance but to just go for the ball. Again, once again, here's Greg Townsend, who's had a great year. He continues to have great years. He's stunning inside, all the way inside, and Lutz barely gets enough of him to stop the sack.
They're not going for a long 52-yard field goal. They'll try it on 4th and 8.
They must know something, Dick, to do this.
DeBerg incomplete, but flags are flying in the secondary.
Now, Kansas City had to have felt they were sure they could get a man open to throw the ball on 4th and 8 early in the first quarter. They had to have known something.
Well, they got the call they wanted. A first down comes with a hold. Penalties, and that a costly one. 5 yards, but carries the automatic first down. Barry Ward back in on first down, and he gets a couple off the right side. Greg Townsend there to get an early piece of the ball carrier. Townsend playing so big again from Texas Christian. His Pro Bowl starting assignment announced earlier.
He isn't a single lineman that can block him down after down. And the Raiders move him around the field. Now he's on the defensive left side.
On 2nd and 8, play action. DeBerge has a man wide open. Hayes, the tight end, backpedaling, and he's to the goal line and down at the 1-yard line with a flag down.
Hayes released. No one on the Raider team saw it. Someone had to have been responsible for it, but they were fooled by the play fake.
And DeBerge, as good as anyone in the league, the veteran, feint of hand, using that long handoff fake to show the ball, but holding is a call this time against Kansas City. So they benefit from a hold, get a first down, and now denied a play to the 1-foot line as they too commit the infraction.
You know the problem with that play.
Offensive pass interference on a wide receiver. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
The problem with this play is that they probably won't get it again. The Raiders will only be fooled once by a play like this. But the one thing they did do is get their guy deep downfield wide open.
Tight end Hayes, he was not the man who pushed off someone else away from the catch, and maybe it was Emil Harry.
Emil Harry, I believe, had blocked a man out. He thought, now you see him right there. You see that block? That is really what he thinks is the man that would be covering the tight end, Ricky Ellison. But Ricky really wasn't covering the tight end, so it wasn't necessary.
A good fake as Winston Moss finally drags down the ball carrier.
It's so interesting. It's an all-or-none defense by the Raiders. They've got great talent. They've got a great attitude. They're well coached. But they give up that 6, 7, 8-yard run about every 4th or 5th attempt. And that in itself hurts. They can make the game almost boring. But all of a sudden, the opponent, in this case Kansas City, breaks a play for 8 or 9 yards.
Schottenheimer putting Troy Stratford in the game for that play and picks up good yardage. That's his first carry of the season. 3rd down, 11. Wide open is Rob Thomas. It's a first down if it counts. Flag is down. 17 yards on the play. A flag down on the near side of the field, well away from the play.
Well, it's either movement or defensive holding, one or the other. If so, the Raiders are getting some breaks in this particular case.
Mr. Rowe.
Defense, number 48, lined up in the neutral zone, offsides. Penalties declined. First down.
Well, thus far, Dick, you can't believe.
High school, he high jumps 6'10". He stands only 5'11". On first down from the 14, Barry Word. And he has 5, maybe 6, down to the 8-yard line. Nolan Harrison and others on the tackle. 5. 2nd and 4.5 as Word is stopped at the 6-yard line. The Coliseum in Los Angeles, and we welcome those of you that have seen the Bengals close out a disappointing year with a 29-7 victory against the Patriots. Here we have 6:37 left in the opening quarter. The Raiders unable to gain a first down with the opening kickoff kick to the 44 of Kansas City. The Chiefs now have moved down to the Raiders 6-yard line on their initial possession, and this play is 3rd down and 2.
Well, typically, Bill Jones, the fullback, will lead the tailback into the hole. Typically, this is what they'll do in a situation like that.
Timeout, Los Angeles. Charge team timeout. That's their first charge timeout.
The Raiders call time at 3rd and 2, and DeBerge, perhaps eyes got a little big, saw something he really liked.
Over the top to Rob Thomas against man-to-man defense.
That was a 3rd down toss, good for 17 yards. 3rd and 2. And it's Word. Look at the power. And he's to the 1-yard line. They had him stacked at the 5, but Word using his 240 pounds to move the pile forward.
Well, again, it was Bill Jones leading the play. Then a nice job of the tight end and Lutz pulling through the hole right there just to get parts of the defender so they can't make a clean, aggressive tackle. And this guy, Word, we've watched him now for 2 years. He's as good a back, all-around, fully dimensional back as you'll see in the league. Power, speed, stamina, he's got it all.
So they have 4 shots from the 1-yard line against the Raider defense. Word again, he's earned it. Flag down in the end zone, and they're marking it shy of the goal line.
Now, this isn't going to help Marinovich when he comes back out on the field at all. Right away, if the Chiefs score, he's going to have his club behind. So once the Raiders get the ball, they're going to be really under stress for Marinovich to perform.
Delay a game against Los Angeles.
12 men on the field, defense, half the distance to the goal. Repeat, first down.
Gee, now this is a tough one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There they are. And we remind our viewers, this is the 16th game of the year for the Raiders, and they made that mistake.
Chiefs say they have a touchdown, and they have one as it's signaled from the far side. Barry Word, he was the workhorse on the drive, carrying. Nick Lowry adds the extra point. Lowry, who again this season has 100 points, and that extends his National Football League all-time record. 9 seasons, 9 times he has scored 100 points or more. Who kicked a field goal in the final seconds to tie the game at Miami, has just kicked the winner in overtime. The Jets, 8-8, advance to the playoffs, 23-20, beating Miami at home.
What character on the part of the Jets. Miami went ahead with about 48 seconds to go. Less than a minute, the Jets were able to come back, kick a field goal, and then win in overtime. So Kozlet has really got that organization going.
Nick Lowry has it teed up. Jamie Holland and Napoleon McCallum are deep for Los Angeles. With 5:24 left in this first period, 7-0 Kansas City. McCallum at the 7. The former Navy star is to the 26-yard line. And Todd Marinovich comes on for his second series. Lloyd Burris, the tackler on the special teams. Marinovich throwing one pass that was wobbly and well off the mark.
And you know what they don't want, Dick? The Raiders don't want is for Marinovich to become predictable, where they'll want to run the ball on it for, say, 1 down, 2 downs, then have to throw. Because once he's predictable by the play calling, then his inexperience can really show up. He'll have all the stress on him when he does have to throw. He has to mix it up.
And he's operating with a Raider offense that really has not been very good this year. On first down, he throws and has his first NFL completion to Ethan Horton at the 33-yard line. Simeon, the tackler.
Good call. Just the thing to do. Throw inside short to your tight end before the defense reacts. Now, Horton will just release inside and stop right between the linebackers. The ball's thrown softly enough that they get their completion.
And Marinovich has that first one tucked away.
Boy,
he would be finishing his junior year playing for Southern California had he stayed at the nearby campus, and his parents happy to get that first one logged. He comes back to the sidelines, and Mervin Fernandez has a first down to the 44.
Again, good play call, no question about it.
And we welcome those of you who have seen the dramatic win by the New York Jets over the Miami Dolphins in overtime to advance to the playoffs as the final wild card here in Los Angeles. The Coliseum. Dick Enberg with Bill Walsh. Kansas City on its first possession drives 57 yards, 12 plays, most of them Barry Word on the ground. Word scored from 1 yard out. Todd Marinovich has completed back-to-back passes. This is Marcus Allen on first down to the 47-yard line. 4 minutes remaining in the opening quarter. And here was the key pass when Word wasn't running, and Word finally plowed it over.
So it appears that Kansas City is going to be able to move the ball regularly against this Raider defense. In other words, whatever they try, if they keep working a nice, smooth game plan, they'll move the ball. That means Marinovich has to be able to perform. He has to perform today.
Second down and 6.
I don't think his defense will win it for him.
Marcus Allen into Kansas City territory and more, running through tacklers. First down at the 26.
Mark, that last tackler, Marcus took on with his pads low. He just went pad to pad and kept those legs going. And this is what he's done. Now you're going to see a pulling guard right here. And the fullback and the pulling guard, in this case, Fitzpatrick, did a great job of setting up. And look at that great job on Kevin Porter. Kevin, one of the finest tacklers in the league, and Marcus just got his pads right down underneath him, keeping his legs going. That's old vintage Marcus Allen.
And that was the longest run by a Raider all year, 26 yards. Marinovich has it deflected and almost intercepted. Dan Saliamua was one of the many in front of Marinovich, who was trying to throw off the wrong foot.
That was some attempt of a special play, and it's really hard to figure out what happened. Marinovich is going to fake. He has a receiver coming all the way across the formation, and he really, at this point, was totally confused. And those are the kinds of things you don't want to do with a young quarterback. Try special plays that don't allow him a chance to hit an alternate receiver very quickly.
Looked as if Neil Smith used his 6'4" height to leap in front of that pass and knock it away. Trailing 7-0, 2:46 left, opening quarter. And on second and 10, Marinovich spends a timeout. So the first NFL duty for Todd Marinovich. He's down by 7. Rams, when they moved from Cleveland in the late 40s, and now the home base for the Raiders. And we talk about home field. The winner gets it in the playoffs. They repeat this doubleheader situation. Do we make too much of home field?
I'm not sure, because Kansas City really has an advantage in Kansas City. Artificial surface, weather conditions you can't count on, a huge crowd that's very, very vocal, being at home for their first playoff game in many, many years. In Kansas City, it's an advantage, a real advantage.
Whereas throughout the Rams years and the Raider years, Los Angeles crowds typically are more apathetic, not really in this big stadium the advantage of elsewhere. Well, Marinovich doesn't get the flag and wisely dumps it off while in the grasp of Chris Morton.
You just can't be stationary like Todd was on that play for very long. He dropped back. It appeared a screen pass was developing on his left, but he began to telegraph it. That's just pure, unadulterated inexperience. And especially, Dick, when you think about the fact he only played 2 years in college, his sophomore year was where all that experience was gained.
What are his strengths, Bill?
Well, he has great touch, beautiful touch, a ball that you can make great catches on because it comes in soft, much like Kenny Stabler.
Are you saying he doesn't have a strong arm then?
Well, I don't think it's a strong, near as strong an arm as, say, Jay Schrader. Here's the blitz.
3rd and 10. Touchdown! Oh, my, what a throw to Tim Brown!
That was the touch we spoke of, up over the top. Now watch him put the ball on a nice high trajectory that drops right in to Tim Brown over the defender's head. So J.C. Pearson couldn't do a thing about it. Beautiful touch. And that's why they drafted him #1. And he'll, of course, have that great asset throughout his career.
73-yard drive engineered by the 22-year-old Marinovich, the youngest of the Raiders, on a team that has a lot of age and experience. Jager adds the extra point, and we're tied in Los Angeles with 2:35 left, opening quarter. A crowd of around 65,000 cheering the first touchdown throw in his brief NFL career. Todd Marinovich has tied the game at 7 with a magnificent throw. Long kick by Jeff Jager that is bobbled in the end zone by Troy Stratford and covered by the Chiefs. They'll start from the 20.
Now here's the touchdown. You'll see a blitz coming in, a blitz coming in. That means single coverage on the outside. And you'll see the pass thrown up over the head. Now Tim Brown does a nice job, and watch the ball right over the top. Beautifully thrown, beautifully thrown.
So it's tied with 2:28 remaining in this opening period. Well, he can celebrate his first touchdown in the NFL, Marinovich, as so many quarterbacks do, on their back. His parents, Marv Marinovich, who played at Southern Cal, was a Raider, conditioning coach of the Raiders. And his mom, it's It's a realization of a lifetime project, and that's a lifetime because he has been planned from day one to do just what he's doing today by Papa Marv. DeBerg comes back on first down, and Rob Thomas is drilled by Terry McDaniel.
Well, it's going to be a ball game. I was really concerned that Marinovich really couldn't function under this kind of stress without ever having played before in the NFL, and he's doing beautifully. That ball had so much touch on it, thrown just the right distance, which means he was really thinking, Dick, right to the end of the play when he was hit. He was concentrating downfield.
Football today, and tomorrow it's the Surf Club. He's proud owner of a townhouse on the ocean, loves to surf. Monday he calls roll. Barry Word on second and short to the 30, close to a first down. Eddie Anderson and Ricky Ellison collaborate on the stop.
The Surf Club is who? Ricky Ellison and Todd Marinovich. Who else?
Well, a few more. Most of the guys come out, take a look at it and say, that's just too much water to surf in. He says, well, wait a minute, you only have to surf in about 30 yards of it. Ellison is a regular companion.
Ricky, a 49er of past, having an excellent year.
First down for Word. Minute 20 left in the first quarter, and Word corralled by Nolan Harrison, the Indiana rookie, picked in the 6th round.
Harrison came off that backside of the play and angled down and made the stop. Now Derek Graham is playing right tackle today. Last week it was Rich Baldinger, but Graham didn't get the job done either. Harrison came right down from the backside and made the stop. That's going to really be a problem today, that right tackle spot for the Chiefs.
Barry Word has carried 10 times in this first quarter. That would figure out to a 40 attempt day. Stratford now in the backfield on 2nd and 9. And the throw complete. Looked to be J.J. Burton, who was wrestled down, but not until he picks up a first down. Lionel Washington, the defender.
I must say that Kansas City looks so much better today than it did just a week ago when we watched them with the 49ers. Now DeBerg's showing a lot of poise. That ball's in the air already, and it has to be thrown over the head of Ronnie Lott. So it was very, very well done. And now we know the Chiefs are going to have to move the ball, at least get field position, or Marinovich is going to give them real trouble.
So 12 yards on the pass that ends the opening quarter, and a first down. We'll start the second period at the Chiefs 43. Kicking the winning field goal in overtime to deny Miami. Here at 7-7 is DeBerg on first down. Play action to Word, and he's going long. Has a man open at the 15. It's Burton. Touchdown, Kansas City.
What a beautiful executed play. DeBerg's fake. Now this is something that DeBerg hasn't done all year. This is really the first time this season that they've come back to things they did. Look at the fake. Very, very well done. Word did a nice job of faking, and this is a flat-out sprint straight down the field and a beautiful throw and catch. And J.J. Burton, the fastest player on the team, but you can see all defenders were fooled. Every defender, including Eddie Anderson. He runs right by all of them.
Sure starting that way. A couple of great throws. Marinovich for the Raider touchdown, and now DeBerg right on target to Burton. Lowry adds the extra point, and with just 7 seconds gone in the second period, Kansas City regains the lead, 14-7. DeBerg's 16th touchdown pass of the year. The 14-7 advantage. Lowry kicks it off to McCallum and Holland. It's Holland at the 12-yard line. To the 26-yard line he goes as we go back to the touchdown view of a touchdown.
Well, that was, I got vertigo as I tried to do it.
Down by 7 now. It's starting to work. Marinovich comes out throwing. Dumps it off to Smith. He's toppled at the 29-yard line by Derek Thomas as we go to New York and
Berg.
Well, it's wise to be ready this time of the year. That, for those of you who stumbled through that yesterday, those monosyllabic terms that Paul McGuire uses gets us all in trouble. The throw is to Tim Brown, the touchdown maker, and again, Marinovich, not a gun, but so deft with his accuracy right on the run, right where Brown wanted it.
Well, this is a la Stabler. The ball is thrown soft up over the top, and the receiver can run for it. Now that's why Al Davis went to real extremes to get Todd Marinovich. And that ball has beautiful touch on it. Beautiful touch.
The best compliment we heard this week at the Raider camp on Marinovich came from Marcus Allen, who's lined up behind him right now. We'll share it with you right after this play. First down at the 39, and Marcus gets the call. Allen for about 3. He too a former Trojan. There's 7 of them from Southern California on this Raider team. Marcus yesterday, and he's looked at a lot of great players, and he's played with some top quarterbacks and against others. And Marcus said the one thing about Marinovich, he has such presence. He said if you put him in a room with the Jim Kellys and Marinos and of the world, he said they would know he's there.
Yeah. But the other thing he said, when he first saw him throw the ball, he thought it was, quote, a candy arm. No strength. How can this guy ever play? But within a few days, he could realize the timing and the touch and the accuracy really more than compensated for the strength of his arm.
On 2nd and 6. Ooh, stuffed was Allen on that play. Greeted rudely by Tom Sims, second-year man from Pittsburgh. Well, Montana wouldn't be in that rifle John Elway category, but a little stronger, but his accuracy is his strength as well.
Well, that's the key to any quarterbacking, the accuracy, and so often overlooked is the velocity of the ball. The receiver wants to be able to make a good catch and then run with it. And sometimes you can throw it so hard, the receiver's consumed just trying to make the catch. So Marinovich's receivers will always have a chance to run after catching the ball.
Now the test of the young quarterback, 3rd and long. Good protection, and he gets it away right on the money again to Brown. First down.
You know what the back of the Raider coach's minds right this minute is, why didn't we do this a few weeks ago? That coming around to the outside, Brown is going to break underneath. Horton, number 88, was really picking the man that was supposed to be covering Brown. So it was a basic man-to-man play where the tight end got in the way of the man covering Tim Brown. Very well done. But as I say, I bet half the people here have already thought about it. Where has this guy been all year?
Base Raider sidelined with sprained ankles after the New Orleans game on Monday. Steve Smith into Kansas City territory on first down, gain of maybe a yard. Neil Smith dragged him down. Marinovich is now 6'4'9".
Well, you know, Marinovich has been on the sideline. We've watched any number of their practices over this year, and not getting any real work except for the opposing quarterbacks' tasks during the week. But the one thing he always showed in the warm-ups was a lot of touch. Meanwhile, he's been watching and learning with Mike White as quarterback coach, and he's coming in with a lot of presence. You pointed that out, Dick. He's just acting as though he's been doing this for years.
Marcus Allen this time, and Allen stopped at the 44-yard line, about 5 yards short of a first down. Dino Hackett and Kevin Ross on the stop.
You know, between Roger Craig and Marcus Allen, these two men have caught more passes than any two running backs in the history of the game, and Craig in particular. And what we're seeing now is Marinovich willing to throw the ball to these people. And if you'll get into that state of mind, you can continually move the ball with a short forward pass.
Allen with that catch has 389 in his career. 5 consecutive completions now for Marinovich, who looks at 3rd and 5. Now draw to Allen, read well by Kansas City. A gain of only a yard. J.C. Pearson slashing in from a cornerback position along with Charles Washington, number 46. Punting team comes on, and that gives us a chance to laud a couple of Raiders. Elvis Patterson, who's had another outstanding year as their top special teams player. The former Giant, number 43, and the punter. There's Patterson. He's the one that'll draw double team blocks. The punter, Gossett, has been brilliant. He has the best net of any punter, almost 39 yards net per punt, 24 times inside the 20, and only 2 touchbacks. Wow, 24 inside the 22 touchbacks, and he goes for another to the 12-yard line. And it's Troy Stratford out of bounds inside the 20, so he's done it again.
Now Patterson, number 43, is one of the top 4 or 5 special
California. And for Kansas City, the Christmas gift they'd like to give their fans is the first ever playoff game at Arrowhead Stadium, as this will be a game that will be played again, the doubleheader next week in the playoffs. The winner today gets home field. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns for Kansas City. The handoff is to Barry Word, short yardage, 2 yards. Let's go to Bob Costa.
3-0, Dick.
And here it's Kansas City, 14-7, second down and 5. The quickie is complete. J.J. Burden again, and that's going to be close to a first down. Terry McDaniel makes the tackle, and Burden has been the busy man for Kansas City. 4 catches.
Well, whatever happened to Steve DeBerg this year, he appears to have overcome the problem, because today he's right on the money with everything he's throwing. He's showing the same classic Steve DeBerg poise. And so maybe he's found himself for whatever reason. He looks so much better this week than last week. And of course, the previous weeks he was throwing interceptions all over the place.
5 for 6 today, 99 yards, 1 touchdown at the 57-yarder to Burden. First down carry, and it's Word. And they're waiting for him this time. Greg Townsend, supported by Terry McDaniel and Eddie Anderson. You see 33 Anderson get up off the pile. He's the leading tackler for the Raiders. Didn't make the Pro Bowl, but one man who voted for him and yesterday expressed his very strong feelings. He feels he's the best safety man in the National Football League, Marty Schottenheimer. He couldn't rave enough about Anderson.
Well, it's interesting. Your question to Marty, who do you think should have been in the Pro Bowl? Thinking Kansas City.
Right.
And Marty volunteered Eddie Anderson as being one of the great players in the league. Now you put Anderson alongside Lott, who offers great leadership. You've got a fine combination.
DeBerg going up on top again and almost intercepted by Lionel Washington, as J.J. Burden the target once again. Looked like Washington was fighting the sun as he looked at that
I think they are right in the sun. The ball's thrown in a real awkward spot for both guys.
By also fighting Burden's left paw, who was pushing at him.
It's outside both their shoulders. But you know the combination. Eddie Anderson is a physical, dominating safety. When he makes a stop, the ball carrier stops. Now you combine Ronnie Lott, who Eddie says brings concentration to the secondary. Everyone concentrates. We don't have the air we had a year ago because of Ronnie Lott's presence.
Out of the shotgun on 3rd and 9. DeBerg just does get away. Todd McNair has the first down on the second effort as he broke out of the tackle of Winston Moss. McNair, he's in there on 3rd down pass situations, and he delivers again with his 37th catch.
Well, McNair is a specialist. I think he's a much better player from scrimmage than people give him credit for. And he will go straight down and break out, and you'll see a clear shot to the outside. The zone defense is there, but no one on the outside is responding.
Caught it at the 34, but twisted away from Moss for 5 yards that he needed for the first down. 6:36 left in the half. Kansas City 14, Los Angeles 7. The quickie to Burden, and he hangs on at the 45 of Los Angeles and took a lick from Lionel Washington.
Both teams are willing to throw the ball today, and does this open up the offense? Now this is just a simple slant pattern. DeBerg just puts it between defenders, and it's caught really before Ricky Ellison and Washington can get there. So very well timed, and it's really fun and enjoyable to watch this kind of game where both teams are getting big chunks of yardage rather than just playing a battle of attrition.
DeBerg enjoying a solid first half from the 45 of the Raiders. Raiders haven't stopped Kansas City yet. Word stopped at the line of scrimmage. Knifing in low to make the stop was Nolan Harrison.
And Eddie Anderson coming from the strong safety spot on the line.
That's what Marty liked about him. He said, I look at films, and not many safeties make tackles 5 yards from the line of scrimmage, but Anderson consistently does.
Penetrate right inside, really a blitz from the outside in. He's there before anybody can lay a hand on him. You see him at the top of the screen coming through. Now he's going to cut off any wide play, but then slant down inside and stop any kind of an inside running play. 2nd and 11.
Word as they cross up the Raiders with a run on 2nd and long, and he's close to a first down. Anderson makes another tackle.
That combination of DeBerg faking as though he has the ball after he hands it off really can hold the pursuit. Now watch him hand off to Word, and looking moving the other way, he had people flowing back there with him. And of course there came Ronnie Lott to make one of his classic shots from the side. But that combination of the ball carrier and the quarterback either faking or handing off, but both faking afterwards, really is unique to the game today. The only team that does it this well.
Word playing for Christian Okoye, who is available but has not been in the game yet. Play action and wide open. Jonathan Hayes to cut it in. Another first down, and he's all the way to the 20-yard line.
Well, that was the same thing we just spoke of. The ball to a tight end going out the other way.
Boy, and J.J. Burton was open deep again on that play. Word dancing away from an early invader. It was Greg Townsend, and gets about 3.
You know, when you line people up, you see people like Scott Davis, Greg Townsend, Tom Benson right alongside each other. You don't think you're going to get anything, but I'll be darned if Word didn't break them all.
Look at that beautiful shot of the Coliseum from the MetLife Blimp, one of the world's largest airships, 194 feet long, 67 feet high. Bart Van Beest and Hunter Harris with us today in the Ozone. Word meets Scott Davis, the 4th-year tackle from Illinois.
Now this is an improved guy, Scott Davis. When he was drafted, people questioned Al Davis' judgment on taking him. They didn't think he had the attitude that you need to play week after week, and he's been conditioned in sort of a Raider philosophy to now where he's one of the strongest, most physical guys, one of the most intense people on the team. So he's been indoctrinated, so to speak. Guys like Howie Long can get that kind of thing done.
3rd and 6 outside the 15.
Major blitz.
And it's incomplete as DeBerg is really toppled. As charging through was Ronnie Lott.
Well, they brought everybody.
Winston Moss as well got to DeBerg.
Lott came inside Benson. Nobody could block Ronnie. They didn't identify it before it happened. And so Ronnie Lott, you see number 42 at the left of the screen, coming inside people. In that particular case, Zott didn't even see him coming.
That brings on Nick Lowry, trying to keep a long string alive. He's made his last 20 in a row. That moves him within 4 of Kevin Butler's NFL record. It's a 33-yard attempt. 21 straight for Lowry, and the Kansas City lead is built to 10, 17-7. And one of the things that Schottenheimer and the Chiefs have to love about Lowry is, although his home field is artificial turf, he kicks so well on grass. 23 of the last 26 successfully. His kick comes down to Holland. Jamie Holland to the 25 and out of bounds. Kevin Ross and Lloyd Burris with a tackle. A timeout. 2:13 left in the half. It's on our Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report. Plenty of time for the Raiders. 2:13 left in the half as they take over just inside their own 25. Todd Marinovich, the young quarterback in his first NFL start, fires incomplete to Tim Brown and almost deflected into the hands of the Chiefs. Chris Martin there to break up the play.
You know, I just noting Todd Marinovich trying to just sort of get a profile on him. He threw that ball just before the receiver broke. In other words, he has great anticipation. It's just natural. I'm not sure anybody taught it to him, but as an athlete, much like Joe Montana, he's anticipating and throwing the ball quickly, being very sure of it where his receiver will be, but it's anticipation rather than waiting, finding someone, and then throwing him the ball.
Draw play to Marcus Allen. Skips out to the 35. Looks to be good enough for a first down as it ticks down to the 2-minute timeout. 17-7 KC. half, and the Raiders trying to rally from 10 points down. And part of the fascination of this game, not only who wins and who gets into the playoffs as the home field advantage, Kansas City or the Raiders that play again next week, but the look at Todd Marinovich, and I can just sense your body language and your love for quarterbacks generally, and watching him develop. If you were giving him a report card grade, what do you think about this first start?
Dick, it would have to be darn good, because he's doing things naturally, instinctively, like he's played the game in a playground or in a high school field. He's just natural at what he does. That's why he came into Southern Cal and did so well there in his first couple of years. He's come here, played today. He can't do anything but get better.
Well, and there's something also about the fact that he's a southpaw. I mean, so few. I mean, there have been some great ones, and of course Stabler comes immediately to mind of the Raiders, and Steve Young currently with San Francisco, but they're few and far in between.
Well, you'd like to think a southpaw has more, I'm being one, has a little more instincts, whatever, but it's a little different now, because Derek Thomas is rushing right into that left side, and Todd Marinovich can see him coming, so it hasn't been a problem. I really like this young guy.
So you like left-handers as well?
Well, you're making a lot of sense, Dick, so far. Yeah, I really do.
And there's his numbers, 7 for 11. And the touchdown, a beautiful toss. If you weren't with us, a well-aimed rainbow to Tim Brown on the run. Derek Thomas teeing off on 3rd and short. And it's going to be close for the first down. They need to get to the 35.
One of the problems with a young quarterback like this, the coaches can get a little bit their appetite whet and go to more things than maybe the quarterback's ready for. But if they stay with these simple kind of pass patterns, I think Marinovich will do fine today.
So first down, out across the 35. And Marinovich without the huddle. There's his first misfire, almost intercepted by Chris Martin, who leaped in front of intended receiver, and we've got a skirmish. Marcus Allen was one of the early combatants with Neil Smith. Boy, if this were hockey, a couple of players would have game suspensions. Oh, look, they're just dragging officials and players they don't want to let go. And you know, Santa just knows who's naughty and nice, Bill.
That's right. He sees all of this. No, this is really uncalled for. It's very evident. When you're playing, you have to keep your wits about you in a game like this. When Marcus Allen's upset at someone, he probably had the block, and it may very well have been Neil Smith, number 90, and that's a major size mismatch. But for whatever, you've just got to concentrate on the game. And there's Marcus going after Neil.
No one will ever question Marcus Allen's competitiveness or his willingness to go combat. I mean, he's been a winner in everything he does, and one has to assume that there was something a little beyond the boundaries there, one way or another, that caused the skirmish. No flag. Let's let him play.
Well, Neil saw the mismatch, and I'm sure he tried to bowl Marcus down and do a little damage.
2nd and 10. Underneath and wide open is the tight end Ethan Horton, and Horton has a first down at the 45 and gets out of bounds.
A big hole in the defense. How that could ever occur. This is the 16th game of the year. Now take a look at Horton crossing the field. Who is there? It's a zone defense. There's no one within miles of it.
Kevin Ross, the short tackler, unable to bring him down. As Ethan Horton, here's one of the terrific stories of this NFL year. A man that was cast away, went back to North Carolina a few years ago as an academic athletic counselor. Thought his career was over. This year he makes the Pro Bowl as a tight end. He's a former Chief draft pick. The throw, incomplete. Willie Gauld along the sidelines, covered by Kevin Ross. Let's go back to Ethan Horton, though. Horton was the #1 pick of Kansas City in 1985 as a running back out of North Carolina. Well, we won't go back to it. Here's the play again.
Well, the ball it should have been caught right there. And that's something that Willie Gault should handle. But speaking of Horton, now here's a guy that Al Davis calls him 2 years later, asks, do you want to play tight end or linebacker? We'd like to have you. That's the kind of athlete he was. Of course, he naturally said tight end. I don't blame him.
Showing his intelligence.
But he worked 2 years with Marv Marinovich, Todd Marinovich's father, who's an expert in conditioning. And it changed his body style and his strength. And he's made the Pro Bowl this year. So Ethan Horton, another Raider project that's really paid off.
And it's in the great tradition of tight ends with the Los Angeles Raiders.
Now we're going to get a few more blitzes. We just got one that time that caused some problems. So I'm sure they still think they can go after Todd Marinovich and shake him up.
See the final minute of the half. 3rd down and 9. Incomplete. Charles Washington may have gotten a piece of that ball, deflected it away from Ethan Horton.
Well, they had a big gainer if they just could have connected. Now Horton again is going to come from the left and cross shallow, and he has just that one step he needs. The ball wasn't touched. He just didn't handle it. It's that simple.
Ball is at the 44. Oh, he wanted that one to taste the completion and a first down, and Art Shell says let's go for it.
Well, there's 2 passes now we've seen. Willie Gault certainly should have had that go pattern on the outside 2 plays ago, and here's another drop. But this guy will get it there, it appears, and it can be handled. It's not coming so hard that they can't handle the velocity of it. And typically a young quarterback will throw the ball so damned hard nobody can catch it before he gets experience.
The Raiders spend their final timeout with 49 seconds left in the half. With 49 seconds left, but Marinovich without a timeout, trailing by 10, trying to at least get into field goal range, and will go for it here on 4th and 9 from the Kansas City 44.
Well, he can get one pass thrown inside, crossing the field. He can get one of those in here and still get up to the line and stop the clock with a quick pass. So they can still use the field. They have enough time for that.
3-man rush. The throw juggled by Horton. He's going to be short of the first down. He didn't catch it cleanly, and Martin and Washington were there to stop him shy of the first. Kansas City takes over on downs at their own 38-yard line. A reminder, at the conclusion of today's game, we'll be presenting the Avis We Try Harder Award, given to the game's MVP. Bill, we were talking about Marinovich. If you were just dropping into Los Angeles to see a game and knew nothing about this season and watch Marinovich, someone explained to you, you know, this is his first NFL game. It'd be hard to believe the way he's conducted himself. It looks like he belongs.
He really does. Part of it is the pass protection by the Raider offensive line. Part of it also, unfortunately, is that Kansas City does not generate a real effective pass rush other than Derek Thomas and occasionally Smith. And so the combination is really made to order for Todd today.
DeBerg has time, 42 seconds left, and gives on a good fake inside to Todd McNair as the Raiders were looking past, and McNair gets 11 yards to the 49, and Kansas City will call timeout with 36 seconds. So suddenly the Chiefs in position with enough time to add to their 10-point lead. A reminder tonight on NBC.
More than he's asked to. He could be a regular back. But they're so loaded in that position, they just use him on 3rd downs. Fine receiver.
DeBerg down the sidelines, complete, and then knocked away. Eddie Anderson was the man who made the hit on Burden, and they're calling it a catch and a fumble out of bounds.
Well, we'll have to get a replay on it. Nicely thrown, splitting the zone.
Hard to see from that angle. Did he get both feet down? Certainly to be reviewed. Yep, he got that 2nd foot down just as contact was made by Anderson. Boy, what a game for Burton, who's averaged only a little over 1 catch per game. He has 19 for the season, but 6 today.
Well, in the short zone.
After further review, play stands as called on the field. Completed pass for a first down.
Meanwhile, Kansas City, this is their 4th possession of the half. They've scored a touchdown, a field goal, and they're in field goal range with 29 seconds left. And again, a good fake by DeBerg as he gives to McNair, who's to the 20-yard line.
Well, with Lowry, you know you've got 3 points unless it's blocked. So now they're going to be able to go for the end zone.
And they use another time field goal by Allegre and then win it in overtime. One of the highlight games of this day. 2nd down and 5.
Go for the end zone down the field.
DeBerg goes down under the rush as he ducks from Greg Townsend and Nolan Harrison. We'll see who they give the sack to.
Well, that right tackle position is hurting the Chief. And Townsend, they're putting Townsend over there, and he is just physically beating his man. It's that simple. And DeBerg could see that one coming. Now, right at the bottom of the screen, you see Townsend come an arm over, just like a nice arm over on Derek Graham. And Graham was sort of mesmerized that time. He didn't know what to do, and Townsend overwhelmed him.
And Marty lets the clock run down to 3 seconds and uses the...
But they gave Kansas City just enough time, a couple of plays, and here they are knocking again.
43 yards out of Barker's hold as Lowry tries to make 22 in a row. Oh, just like on a line, but he scuffed it short. It fell short on a perfect line, and that's how the end of this. For those of you just joining us, as you look at DeBerg's marks against the Raiders, the winner of this game gets the home field next week. Same 2 teams opening round of the playoffs.
You know, what a swing of emotions for any professional athlete. But in this case, Steve DeBerg being benched a few weeks ago for Vlasic. And then Vlasic starting last week after being the toast of the town in Kansas City. And now back again. It's just that determination, that concentration, and inner confidence the athlete must have to be ready when called upon. And Steve's right back with his team right in the swing of things.
Troy Stratford, this is his point of view as Jager spins it into the end zone, and Stratford no chance to take it out. Well, the touchdowns were again 35 yards, and he becomes the all-time Kansas City rusher. He gets the call, and they're waiting for him, but he moves the pile 3 yards. Harrison and Davis and many others to make the stop. So he's over the 1,000-yard mark. He led the NFL 2 years ago with 1,480 yards. It was quite a scene yesterday as he talked with us. He had his little 4-month-old daughter, Christiana, in his arms. But she really was tiny in his big mitts.
Oh, he just absolutely adores her. Carries her everywhere, and what a nice little child. She no noise. I can remember mine, but she sat there so quiet and alert.
McCoy, 260 pounds. From Azusa Pacific. Big hole, and he blasts for a first down. A gain of 10.
That's the kind of running that tests everybody. And Ronnie Lott had to make a play there. I'm sure Ronnie would prefer not to have to take something like that on. Okoye fell forward from initial contact till when the ball was called dead. He made 4 extra yards.
Ed Podolak, currently the all-time Chiefs rusher, 4,451 yards for Podolak, part of that great team of Lenny Garson and Otis Taylor and Podolak, and of course the great defense of Hank Strand. Teams that well, they opened the Super Bowl right here in the stadium 25 years ago.
That would have to go down as one of the great teams over a period of time in American football.
Buck Buchanan,
the whole
Bobby
crew,
Bell,
they were good.
Lanier,
and the rivalry in those years were the Oakland Raiders. Oh, and then the Jets as part of it.
How many times do we see George Blandos here today kicking a field goal in the final seconds? There are the numbers, the all-time, and brings out memories of Haynes and Garrett and Curtis McClinton as well. On 2nd and 8, the fake to Okoye. DeBerg to Hayes, the tight end has it, and a first down at the Raider 42-yard line. Eddie Anderson made the tackle. Townsend had his hands on DeBerg as he threw the ball.
Townsend really leveled him, but again the fake to Okoye, there it is. Now the tight end releasing up the field, and Ricky Ellison playing the run first and then trying to go with a tight end. That's a really difficult job. Now you see Townsend coming inside all the way around 2 blockers, and down he goes. That's one of the problems I see in professional football, because really Greg Townsend knew Steve DeBerg didn't have the ball at that point. And that's where the violence of the game you get concerned about. But it's the thing you do to play defense.
DeBerg 10 for 13 passing. He's looking for another and has it at the 24. Skidding catch by Rob Thomas. Popcorn Thomas has 18 yards. John Ferratis. Kansas City again moving seemingly at will, and now it's Okoye to the 20-yard line. So the Raiders, their strength this year has been their defense, but on 5 possessions by Kansas City, 5 straight times DeBerg has got them deep in Raider territory.
Well, what a contrast from a week ago, and they were so flat against San Francisco and looked dismal. And we were trying to be gentlemen about it when we reported it, but it was dismal. This week, much like we've seen at other times, extremely well executed, knowing just what they're doing it well. 2nd and 6. Okoye again gets only a yard as Nolan Harrison, who's doing a good job, this rookie from Indiana, number 74, plugs the hole with plenty of help. Moving the ball not good this year, and Marchell talked about it yesterday. That the defense has kept them at 9 and 6. Well, when you only average 274 yards a game and you're a playoff team, your defense had better be good. Play action to Berg, and he has to eat it. Scott Davis with a sack. Tarzan, his 6th and a half of the year. Dick, do you realize, and for the viewers, do you realize what that sack means? It happened right at the end of the half also. The quarterback just mustn't take a sack when he's in field goal position, because this again puts Lowry in a very difficult kicking position. And Scott Davis just bowled over Zock to make the play. But the kinds of plays you call in the so-called red zone have to eliminate the possibility of a sack, because now we've got a long field goal because of it. 45 yards. Lowry, after a DeBerg sack in the final seconds of the first half, missed from 43. That snapped his string as DeBerg and Schottenheimer talk things over, and a timeout is called by Kansas City. But when we return, presumably Lowry to try from 45. Minutes into the second half. Nick Lowry trying to give Kansas City a 20-7 lead. 45-yard attempt. He missed from 43, and that broke the string of 21 in a row. And it is no good. Flag is down. So easy to
Holding. Offense number 51. Penalty declined. Field goal is no good. Timeout.
It's so easy to talk about strategical errors, but both quarterback sacks on the last 2 possessions cost them 6 points.
Back, and Todd Marinovich, his first play of the second half, throws complete. Flag down. It appeared the Chiefs are offside. Ethan Horton tied in with a catch. Hackett and Thomas the tackle. 2 flags are down, and Howard Rowe will sort that out. The Raider offense, excuse me, Bill, is 24th in the NFL. Offside is the call. 26th in passing. Only Indianapolis and Tampa Bay less effective than the Raiders throwing the ball.
Defense, offsides, number 63. Penalties decline. Brings up 2nd down.
Well, one of the very telling stats for the Raiders is they average 3.8 per rush, and they're a rushing team. You'd like to think you'd be in the 4.5 area if you're really effective. So really, the Raiders have gotten to the playoffs without exploding offensively, and they're going to have to do that to go very far in the playoffs.
Quick throw is complete to Mervin Fernandez. Breaks a tackle. Flags are down as Fernandez goes to the 47. J.C. Pearson, the tackler.
A flag was thrown from way down, deep down the field. Often that's offensive pass interference. A pick pay. Excuse me, a pick pay? A pick play.
Or tight end holding.
Yeah.
Oh, the other way against the defense.
Holding. Defense, number 57. Penalty decline. First down.
Chris Martin, as Marty Schottenheimer says, hey, let's take it easy now. We have the lead, 17-7. Schottenheimer and Kansas City winning the last 3 meetings. These two teams all have been closely contested, and it's usually Kansas City coming from behind. Today, Art Shell's job is to rally his troops.
On that last play, Chris Martin just held Horton all the way up the field, trying to stay with him, because the tight end becomes a major factor with a passer like Marinovich, a touch passer.
Marinovich to the sidelines, no one there. Misread in the communications as Willie Gault went deep, and Marinovich thought he would break off his pattern to the sidelines. Let's check the Detroit, Dallas winners, as were Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and Tampa Bay. Here's 17-7 Kansas City, 2nd and 10. Marinovich incomplete. One of the few offline. Fernandez, the intended receiver. Marinovich is a talented artist, and I don't want to use the word flaky, but his teammates, I mean, flaky is really in sports lexicon often a positive term. You have to be bright to be so categorized. He's artistic, has a presence, unpredictable certainly, as most any 22-year-old might be, but multi-talented.
Well, you know, if you were 10 years older, we'd say he's an eccentric. Right. But at this point in life, flaky is about all the word you can come up with.
Even Marcus Allen called him a hippie. And Allen gets that one and hits away from a couple of Chiefs and is to the 43, but that won't be enough for a first down. We'll bring up 4th and a long 5.
But the presence of Marinovich demonstrated itself again. He's being chased by people that are much faster than he is. Bill Moss is all over him, and he still finds Marcus Allen right at the last instant. So that's the resourcefulness you really need in a quarterback.
But no running game to complement the passing, and so Jeff Gossett in to punt again, and he has been an artiste as you look at Troy Stratford at kicking the ball out of bounds inside the 20 or getting the fair catch. Aims it for the near sidelines. Stratford lets it go. Oh my, another. What a kicker. That's why he goes to the Pro Bowl. Number 7 for his idol, Mickey Mantle. Gossett does it again. The 6-yard line after that 39-yard punt to the corner by Gossett. And now the crowd trying to urge this defense to make a big play. DeBerg likes that play action fake often in here, but no, gives to Word, and Word is stopped for a loss. Terry McDaniel pressing from the corner.
So tough to stretch a play outside when you're that close to your own goal line, because those defensive backs will attack. They really will, and that time McDaniel got there before any blocker could get near him. So this is a tough spot to be in. The first thing Steve wants to do, Steve DeBerg, is to give his punter plenty of room to smoothly punt the ball. That's number 1.
Barry Word behind him, 61 yards rushing today, but only 2 yards on his last 4 tries. DeBerg batted in the air, incomplete. Oh. Rob Thomas was the closest Chief.
Well, the Chiefs need about 3 more yards to be able to punt the ball in a normal fashion. They're on about their 4-yard line. They need to be about on the 16 or 17. Now, that could have been trouble.
Nolan Harrison making another play. This young guy subbing for Howie Long. He was a terrific pick, a 6-rounder.
6'5". He's got the height to go up to the ball. Now they're going to spread out and throw. I guess that's not that important to them. Unless there's a draw play involved. Now this is surprising.
Wide open, same man, J.J. Burton, who had 6 catches and a touchdown in the first half. Does he have enough for a first down here? Yes, 12 yards before Torn Dorn and Eddie Anderson.
And got in better position to finally punt it.
Career game in catches and yards for Burton. Movement before the snap. Barry Word breaking tackles and drags another out to the 27-yard line. Eddie Anderson finally puts him to the ground, and it appeared that Nolan Harrison was into the neutral zone. Was he drawn off?
It looks as there apparently no whistle. But everybody seemed to let down. They seemed to let down, and consequently he broke all those tackles.
Harrison, who didn't play as a senior with Indiana, he did something, went to an extreme.
We've got offsetting fouls, motions, 23 moving right at the snap, offsides, defense 74.
At the 17, we'll get back to Nolan Harrison in a moment. Boy, look at that hole for Word. And he has a first down out to the 32-yard line. Lionel Washington, number 48, and Anderson collect him after 15 yards.
Word waited for the defense to start sliding along the line to pursue him. Now you see him sort of waiting, and Scott Davis went about a hole beyond his responsibilities. You saw him being turned, and finally Washington makes the stop. But it was the Raider defense that over-pursued, as they call it. They go too far trying to get to where to where Word was directing himself.
And Word with the speed, 220 pounds, he qualified for the Olympic trials in the hurdles, and there he goes again. No hurdles necessary. He just lowers now his 242 pounds and picks up about 8. Tom Benson.
To do that at this stage of the game.
Al Davis, one of the Raider greats, George Blanda, on the right side of your picture, wearing some concern at 17-7 Kansas City, and the Raiders having trouble stopping him, but there's Benson with a hit as he puts Word down rudely.
Well, they needed that play. That still may get the first down. It's awfully close.
Close enough for a measurement.
The #1 pick of 2 years ago. And they have enough confidence in him. He can get the job done in holding down that corner of the defense.
Short by inches. Flags are down, and Word shoots through a big hole to the 49-yard line, and Anderson, who leads the Raiders with 107 tackles coming in, makes another.
Again, DeBerg's snap count, it looked like he got the Raiders, if not offsides, off balance.
Offsides, number 70 defense, penalty decline, first down.
Give Word the yards, and he now has 93 for the day.
Again, DeBerg's snap count. Watch his helmet. Watch him get that. Let's see that chest and everything expanding and moving, and he got Davis to move. Now Steve's been doing that for 15 years. You could probably write a book on that technique. But that's where the snap count and the emphasis in your voice, the enunciation, can pull an anxious defensive person off sides.
Barry Word showing why he rushed for 1,000 yards last season with his play today, as he's 7 shy of the 100 mark. He had over 100 last Saturday at San Francisco, and this will put him right at 100 as he goes to the Raider 45. And if you've just joined us, this drive by Kansas City has been typical of their play today. On offense, the Raiders have not been able to stop them.
Well, the Raiders are just absorbing right now, and you can't say that about every one of their players, or that defense that's been designed for them.
Only the second appearance of Christian Okoye, who is less than 20 yards from the Kansas City rushing record. He's over 1,000 on the season with a few yards today. And he blasts to the 41-yard line, and that might be good enough for another first down.
Okoye talks about going home, of course.
Get some of that goat stew.
He wants to go home where there's the good cooking, the good food.
Goat stew. Have you ever had goat stew? Looking for a movie on TV.
What are these people all falling down on that grass field for?
Why do they fall on each other?
They fall all the time.
2:43 left in the third. DeBerg throws it away. Well covered was Bill Jones. Eddie Anderson on him.
Well, DeBerg did a fine job there, and he was benched for not doing that a few weeks ago.
Marty Schottenheimer came out on the field, and a flag has been thrown. Whether it's for Schottenheimer, a misconduct, we'll soon learn.
A few weeks ago, Steve DeBerg was throwing the ball to the covered receivers anyway and having them intercepted. This time he threw it away finally.
Personal foul, number 74 defense, unnecessary roughness. 15-yard penalty, first down.
So it was Marty running out to call attention to this foul as Harrison gives a shove after the whistle.
Oh boy.
That's the old teller machine chuck. You know, that two-handed thing. You got to get your heels or your hands into it.
Well, Bob Golick was trying to lecture him there, remind him.
But gee, of all that goes on, I mean, that was just a, I mean, that for these big guys, just a little push. It wasn't as if he threw a forearm or elbow. Or
it had to have been something before that, you would think. But Golick, the old vet, just tells him you got to play within the confines of the rules.
11th play of the drive that started back at the Kansas City 6-yard line.
Changing the play. And often it's a run when he changes it.
Okoye, a small hole, and he's to the 22-yard line.
Okoye is especially good late in the game.
Looking down to get these tremendous aerial photos of the Los Angeles Coliseum. Second down. 6. Okoye. Oh.
See, he's moving the pile, and the pile's moving anyway. Now you see the white uniforms pushing back the black jerseys. And then by the time Okoye hits the line of scrimmage, all the Raiders are on their heels, and they've got a blocker occupying them.
And for the West, as Atlanta lost earlier to Dallas. Now it's Word in at running back. He has the first down inside the 15.
Oh, gee, I bet Al Davis and his group upstairs can see that, and it would be so frustrating. That time, the entire Raider defense was moved back 5 yards to a man. Now they're fatigued, apparently. They look like they're playing fatigued. And part of it's because the offense has not been able to sustain their attack and control the ball. And part of it's a guy like Okoye behind that offensive line. But they are absorbing.
Well, the Monday night shutout at New Orleans, a Monday night. They get here Tuesday. It's been a short week.
Right.
Maybe taking its toll. 105 yards now for Barry Word. Back-to-back 100-yard games for Word. First down as they're chewing up this entire third period, Kansas City. Just seconds left. And Word inside the 5-yard line before Lott and Benson can stop him.
See all those Raiders standing up, looking at Word as he goes by, and then going back to their own huddle. Just too many of them standing there looking back. They've all been blocked, and then they watch the ball carrier. Now watch this. They're all looking back toward their own goal line to find out where the ball carrier went.
Yeah, that's the exit for Kansas City. A sleigh ride, the way they've moved the ball against the Raider defense. And on this drive, particularly, Marty Schottenheimer's team, 14 plays, 89 yards, 8 minutes, 21 seconds consumed to help that time of possession statistic as they've just owned the ball. And if they continue this, they will earn the chance to play the Raiders at Arrowhead, and that'll be a significant and memorable game. First ever at Arrowhead playoff. Word stopped in the backfield and is dropped for a loss at the 5-yard line. Winston Moss made the tackle, and that'll bring up third down and a long 2.
You know, Dick, anytime you can look over at the scoreboard and see 24 first downs for Kansas City and 8 for the Raiders, you know somebody's being dominated. Now, I've seen teams win with 8 first downs versus 24, but usually they've hit 3 or 4 big long-range strikes for touchdowns, and of course the Raiders haven't done that. So they have just been physically dominated.
On 3rd and 2, it's Word up the middle and stopped shy of the 2, but he had to get only inside the 3 for the first down. Nolan Harrison, the rookie, makes another tackle, and we'll see where they give the spot. 16-play drive. And Howard Rose says they will measure.
But the emotional, psychological part of football demonstrates itself in one 7-day period. The Chiefs last week dominated by San Francisco, decimated by them, embarrassed by them, come right back the next week.
But Marty said that's what's really pleased him, and they are short of the first down, brings up 4th and that much. That it's been one of the characteristics of the team in the 3 years that after a loss, a tough loss, they've been able to bounce back, and so they have apparently again today. They're going to go for it on 4th and inches.
Well, that's so much related to Marty Schottenheimer, Carl Peterson's organization, and Marty's staff for having the resiliency and the ability to communicate and make things happen. 9 minutes and 14 seconds on one drive.
A late entry was Emil Harry into the huddle, and then he's chased back off. Now he doesn't know what to do. Now he gets off the field. Berg trying to draw him offside. And now apparently just going to take the 5-yard penalty and they'll go for the field goal. That's what it is. So a drive that starts at the 6 in Kansas City's half of the field and ends at the Raider 2. And the mathematics come out. Try the field goal for Lowry, which will still, even if successful, keep the Raiders within 2 touchdowns of victory. So in some ways a moral victory for the Raider defense.
Well, Deron Cherry, who to me is as analytical a player as I've ever met, he bewitches me when we talk to him because he's got such a wonderful feel for the game. He's a fine safety man in his own right, but he talks about what Marty's done with the team. Basically, Marty told him last week, and any other way he could think of it, they were all in one big boat and everybody had better grab an oar. Well, they did it this week.
25 yards for Lowry, and he just slides it through. So Lowry, who had a 21 field goal streak snap today, is now 2 for 4. Officially, first day of winter. It's cooled down to about 68 here in Los Angeles. As Nick Lowry with a 20-7 lead kicks off with 13 minutes left. A quick scoring strike by the Raiders, and despite all the negative feelings as Kansas City has owned the football, Los Angeles certainly not out of it. Jamie Holland to the 27-yard line before he's bumped out of bounds. And a flag goes down. And it looks as if we've got a personal foul.
It looks as though it was hitting along and out of the sideline. A lot of action over there.
And 15 more will take it out across the 40.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness on number 27. Late hit out of bounds. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Starting safety Kevin Porter.
Well, there's field position. There's Porter along the sideline. He's out of bounds now. Oh, and it's 52, really. Porter didn't have much to do with it at all.
Tracy Rogers made the hit. Porter didn't get a hand on it. So from the 43, Marinovich starts, needing 2 touchdowns to get the lead. Almost intercepted as Dino Hackett faded back into that zone, and the ball was right in his mitts. Willie Gault, the intended receiver.
Well, there's the experience factor. Because all Marinovich saw was the defensive back and the receiver, not accounting for Hackett to take an angle to cut off that slant play. So Dino just dropped, just as he's been drilled for years, on that 3-step quarterback drop into that point where the slant is thrown.
Into the flat to Allen, hit immediately by J.C. Pearson, born in Japan. Japanese mother. Probably the only NFL player that speaks fairly fluent Japanese. On the Miller Lite 10-minute ticker, still 10-7 Denver hanging on in the late third period. Washington builds its lead against Philadelphia. New Orleans still by 17 in the desert.
Well, it appears that New Orleans has found themselves with Hebert, and they can be a factor now against Washington in a playoff situation.
Third down and a long 7. To the tight end Horton, right at the yardsticks. Kansas City 48-yard line. J.C. Pearson and Kevin Ross there.
Now that took touch. To throw to the tight end on an out pattern right at the sideline, you have to drop that ball in over people's head. Get a look at it. Nice drop. He's sort of telegraphing the throw, but look at the touch right there to the sideline.
Bill, the Raiders have just totally forsaken the running game. It's just pass, pass, pass now.
Well, the score would sort of drive you to do that, but it is unfortunate that Marcus Allen, as an example, hasn't had a chance to really get untracked.
First down. Those aren't bad numbers in his debut. 14 for 24. The touchdown pass was to Tim Brown. That came in the first quarter. Said he wore 13 at Southern California, had enough of that unlucky number. He wanted 12, and growing up with his dad, a former Raider, he rather admired the left-hander Stabler anyway. Wanted his number. He floats one to Allen. Oh, does he throw that pass well? That was similar to the touchdown to Brown. Just lobbing it over the defense.
Now that's a play, in all honesty, Jay Schroeder would not or could not have made, because it's the trajectory of the ball. He's throwing it over defenders' heads and dropping it down to Marcus Allen. And Marcus being a fine receiver. Now that's well done. Now that's a play that would not have been made with a previous quarterback. I think he's here to stay. I really do.
Now, wait a minute. You're saying that based on today, they're going to play again next week, that you would start Marinovich?
Unless we have disaster in the next few minutes. He'll be that much better next week. He gives them the best chance to win.
Nick Bell in the game for the first time. Big rookie from Iowa. Marinovich guns. What a catch by Horton. Left-handed it and pulled it in like an outfielder. Catches like that got him votes for the Pro Bowl as he goes to Honolulu for the first time.
Oh, but a great transition he's made to be a tight end. Now this ball's thrown soft enough that Horton can make a one-handed catch. Now if somebody had drilled that ball, there would have been no one-handed catch.
Well, that's a make any quarterback pleased.
The real great ones, the Unitas or any, I can go on and on. The tight end became a major factor in their throwing, because they could always find him and throw a soft enough ball for the tight end to catch it. So Horton's going to get a new lease on life.
2nd and 6. They trail 20-7, and Marinovich pulls it in and has a first down. Oh, he's got this crowd with him now.
Now that took a little decision on his part, because he's unsure. He wants to throw it, but now he turns it on and he uses good judgment that close to the goal line, going down underneath people.
11 yards on the play. 1st and goal from the 7. The Chiefs lead 20-7. Exactly 10 minutes left in the 4th quarter. Underneath to Brown, and he may have fumbled. Now they're going to call it an incomplete pass. Would have been a yard loss had he caught it.
Well, you'd assume.
Uh-oh. Marinovich slowly getting to his feet and wobbly.
2nd and goal.
Apparently Neil Smith caught him just as he threw the ball.
Right up around the helmet.
That worries you about the game of NFL football, because Neil knew that Todd had thrown the ball when he hit him. He knew he had thrown the ball. And that's where I think a different interpretation of that rule is in order.
I'm not sure that Marinovich has all of his senses. You know, he just had that glazed look of a boxer that just taken a big right hand and wisely calls timeout. 9:49 left in the 4th. With a 20-7 lead, less than 10 minutes remain as the defense cheering Marinovich, and the Raider offense 2nd and goal from the 7.
The draw play wouldn't be bad to the halfback. Nope, not going to get it. Sprinting left.
Overthrows the tight end, Andrew Glover. And yesterday, Marinovich, we asked him if he, anticipating his first NFL game, had any dreams this week. And he said, well, kind of thinking through some things. I'd hope to throw a touchdown to Glover. This man was his close buddy.
That's his roommate from rookie camp all the way through. The two of them have hung together, came in together, and
he's been productive, Glover.
Yeah, that's Marinovich not playing. Let's hope they have a career together.
Raiders don't want a field goal, down 20-7. To Galt, overthrown. And now Archell has to decide, does he want to go for a field goal? 20-10, and a flag is down. That might be the real ally to Marinovich, still trying to shake some cobwebs, it would appear, from that hit from Neil Smith. This
A
could
lot
be
of
big.
Chiefs are jumping up, down, feeling pretty good about something.
Yeah, they're saying holding Raiders. Now we're going to know.
Holding offense, number 88. Penalty decline. Brings up 4th down.
Tight end Ethan Horton guilty of the hold. They decline it and force the decision by Art Shell. Do you go to the field goal?
You got to go to the field goal right here.
Even with 9:38 left.
Yeah, because it'll bring them to 10. They need a touchdown and a field goal to go to overtime. So you'd kick the field goal.
Apparently not.
No.
That's Terry Robisky, the offensive coordinator, with his final.
Them down around the 2-yard line, then you could go for it on 4th down and feel comfortable. But they threw a ball, incomplete pass.
6 seconds, 5 seconds. See, now they've run out of time on the play clock.
Just let it run out, take the 5-yard penalty, kick the field goal. But I called another timeout. They're going to obviously need the timeout at the end of the game. They're behind. But that's, of course, the experience of the quarterback, and he's trying to do what he thinks is right. But I would assume the coaches wouldn't want a timeout at this point on the field. Even if they're going for it, the extra 5 yards won't hurt. Gives them more room to throw the ball.
That's a good point. You know, those timeouts are so precious, and often everyone's in a hurry to spend a timeout to save a 5-yard penalty, and you wonder why coaches don't drill their quarterbacks, especially early in the game. Hey, save it. Go ahead, take the 5-yard penalty.
Well, so much of football now is game management. Those kinds of things, managing it. Of course, you've got a young rookie quarterback, and he makes decisions that that others can't protect him from.
Robisky, who is the Raider chess champion, you see him resetting the clock. They had let some seconds tick away. Marcus Allen is the only one who's really challenged Robisky's domain as the top man with the pawns.
Well, I guess it's a chess game every day, and Robisky goes down into the players and just wipes them out day after day. Apparently, Ethan Horton's sort of discouraged.
Well, he hopes he has the crucial move here.
Yeah.
Probably the game if the Raiders don't make it. But they make it to Ethan Horton.
Horton will cross from right to left, number 88, and he just isn't being covered very well. That's all there is to it. Charles Washington just couldn't stay with him.
And the Marinovich family cheering the results, as they did for their son when he was the first ever California high schooler to pass for 9,000 yards as a prepster.
You know, this reminds me his high school career to someone like Jerry Rice catching the ball. You know, Jerry would catch 100 balls a day in practice. He'd catch 100 passes a year in games, and Marinovich threw the ball so often, so continuously, all through his previous career, that it's become much more natural to him. Jay Schrader, on the other hand, as you know, Dick, was a baseball player, played very little football.
Right, 5 years in the Toronto Blue Jay organization. Well, Marinovich and his NFL coming out party, 17 for 30. His team is still in this game, extra point away from 20-14, and Jay Schrader must be wondering about his future. The two Weiser distributorship in Kansas City is in his future. Jager makes it 20-14. The Raiders are within 6, and while the Raider family cheers, Al Davis keeping it inside. Oh, come on, Al. At least smile. Come on. Come on, Al. You could do it. Maybe next time. Troy Stratford, who will take the touchback at the 20. Kansas City's lead 20-14. We wish you all a happy holiday and Merry Christmas, and we present two brightly decorated packages for you fans on Christmas Day. Right next door at the Sports Arena, you'll first see James Worthy and the Lakers against crosstown rivals Danny Manning and the Clippers. That's at 3 Eastern. Then prime time, 9 o'clock, Bird and Jordan, Boston and Chicago. A double gift from NBC Sports. There it is, the Sports Arena adjacent to the Coliseum here in Los Angeles. Now it's the Chiefs, though they have dominated on offense, leading by only 6. Barry Ward rumbling again, gets a dozen. Eddie Anderson with a tackle, and about to wrap his mitts around some words. Here's Bob Costas.
Rams in Seattle tonight. Dick?
A tough year for the AFC. Howie Long jumping offside as Word gets the call and is across the 40-yard line. Ricky Ellison makes a tackle, and to follow up Bob Costas's point, in the 80s, the only AFC team to win the Super Bowl were the Raiders, quarterbacked by the man next door, Jim Plunkett. And there's Plunkett on the left of your picture. Plunkett, of course, against the Eagles in '81, winning Super Bowl 15, and then against the Redskins in '84, the big upset down in Tampa. And that's the last time the AFC able to win the Super Bowl. So it's been a run for the National Football Conference, and they've really had their way this year.
Defense, offsides, number 75. Penalty decline. Second down.
Well, DeBerg has got Howie Long moving now with that snap count. You see it?
And Long playing with a bad knee, and he's trying to favor that. So to get an extra push, he perhaps has to be overzealous. Word now 126 yards rushing today, and he's going to get some more. And a first down on second and a yard before Ellison and Long can make the stop.
At this point, the Raider defense has got to keep their pads down, got to charge and not overcommit. The previous 2 runs that Kansas City broke, Howie Long moved on one of them and Golic on the other, all the way around their blocker, and the ball just followed right in behind him. So they've got to play through their blocker to the ball. They can't gamble.
Bob Golic, the veteran nose tackle, digs in. First down at the 44 of Kansas City with 7 minutes 50 seconds left. There's that long arm fake by DeBerg, and the throw incomplete to Hayes. Scott Davis slow getting up.
It was called just at the right time, but DeBerg was out there before Hayes could get over across the field. So consequently, DeBerg had to throw the ball prematurely. He should have been much wider when the ball was thrown. Well, that helps. That stops the clock. Now it's second down. If they'd have run the ball, they could have used up another 40 seconds. So that incomplete pass can hurt you.
Now the run. Word. Just a small opening that closes at the 46-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 8. Now this becomes a crucial call by Marty Schottenheimer.
The incomplete pass forced this situation.
Now the Raiders bring in their 2 extra defensive backs looking for the pass in Kansas City, and DeBerg will be under some pressure now.
Can't get sacked, can't throw an interception. An incomplete pass won't hurt that much. Big blitz.
Underneath to Burton again. What a game, and he's going to go all the way. Touchdown, Kansas City. 53 yards against a blitzing defense. Burton has 2 touchdowns today from DeBerg, 57, and this one for 53.
It's just a little slant pattern, but everybody was cut off. Beautiful block on that side of the field. And you know, it's a foot race from here, and Burton's one of the fastest guys in the league. But way back downfield was Ronnie Lott, who had blitzed and didn't get there. Now, without the blitz, that play wouldn't have occurred. So a gambling effort on the part of the Raiders to really shut down DeBerg, cost him a touchdown.
And what a game for Burden. He had 19 catches all year till today. 8 catches, 188 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Lowry to try the point after. And again, almost a tentative push through. And here's Burden, 88. The only man to beat is Torn Dorn, 46. And look at the block coming up from his other wide receiver. That'll appear to be Todd McNair, who came over and threw the block. 27-14. Someone that was attracted to Kansas City by Marty, and after a season this year with no touchdowns, he has 2 big ones today, 57 and 53 yards. 27-14 Kansas City.
Dick People felt that he couldn't catch the ball well enough to ever be a regular, but he had great speed. Well, they've taught him to handle the ball well enough. I think Al Saunders, the receiver coach, has done a great job with him. Now, this is a combination of another things. Now, first you'll see a blitz by Ronnie Lott right there. Then you'll see a pick play with this receiver leaving up the field, forcing Washington around. Then you'll see the play go. So you'll first see a blitz by Ronnie Lott right there up inside. Now the pick play. Now here comes Burden. And meanwhile, Thomas does a beautiful job of blocking on the other side of the field. So a combination of things had to happen to result in a touchdown.
And the Hall of Famer Art Shell, just when he felt he had him stopped, finds himself back by 13 points. And Marinovich goes to work from the 20. Ethan Horton, the tight end, with another catch. He's been the counterpoint to Burden, only in Horton's case, he isn't getting the long touchdown bomb. He too has 8 catches, but for only 67 yards.
Well, this is the first time that really the tight ends have been a target for the Raiders of consequence, because of the style of passing that Marinovich brings. Now they need a no huddle. I'm not sure he can function that way.
Underneath to Marcus.
Okay, now get up to the line of scrimmage. Get your team up there.
First down at the 39. Martin and Porter make the tackle.
Now these are things that have to be learned. At some point, Marinovich won't be looking for the sideline for a play. He'll have a play of his own.
All things considered, you can see what Marcus was saying about his presence. There's no question he's running the show. Steve Smith didn't seem to see the ball come out of the hand. It kind of looked as if Marinovich was throwing deeper downfield, and Smith was fooled by the throw.
That's another feature that they'll have to learn, because he does not telegraph passes to his right side. And Smith didn't even think the ball was on its way. But right now, Kansas City's showing no pass rush, none. So he's going to have time unless there's a blitz.
Todd Marinovich, a firecracker since day one, born on the 4th of July, as was Al Davis. In fact, he said that parents used to tell him all the fireworks were for him. It was his birthday. On second down, a deep throw, but a little too long for Mervin Fernandez. And Marinovich hit as he threw the ball.
Little action on the ground.
It's Steve Wisniewski, the Pro Bowl left guard.
There's no need for that stuff now. Let's just get this game and function smoothly. Nothing should distract them now. They've got to execute. There's Bob Golick, who's brought personality to this team.
A bloody nose today. 3rd and 10. Marinovich now 19 for 34. 186 yards and 2 touchdown passes.
Could be Horton.
Mervin Fernandez gets out of bounds with a first down at the Kansas City 48. Kevin Porter on the coverage.
Again, no pass rush. A lot of time. Horton was wide open. They'll get him again.
Well, Al Davis shocked a lot of folks in the NFL when he picked Marinovich in the first round, the 24th pick in the draft. Only after his sophomore year, Marinovich, who had had some troubles with both academically, and there was a drug problem as well. But Marinovich is showing why Davis was so well attracted. He's a talent. A rare run by the Raiders in the second half. Marcus Allen gets to the 44, a pickup of 4. Scott Davis watches as Marinovich, with 5 minutes 13 seconds left in the fourth quarter, trying to rally the Raiders again. Nick Bell in. Again to the tight end. It'll be close to a first down. Chris Martin hits Horton. It is a first down at the 36.
Horton should get a lot of balls in this drill. The Kansas City zone shows a lot of room to the inside for a tight end.
4:47, 4:46, 4:45 left.
Good protection.
Marinovich throws a floater for Brown. Well covered. Kevin Ross.
That was a good shot down the field. You might as well. He lulls people short and then goes down the field.
But it does float. You can show there. He doesn't have that real whip arm.
Well, I think it'll take a while. It'll take a year for these receivers to get used to this style of throwing, and the coaches get used to what he can do. But once that's occurred, he appears to be another Ken Stabler to me. He's got all the poise you need, all the touch you need, a lot of command, but they do have to get used to his style.
On second down. And he threw that one away. Crowd of 65,000. There were 67,000 tickets distributed. 65,144 here, hoping that they'd be able to come back again next Sunday to see these same two teams. And meanwhile, the folks in the Midwest that root for the Chiefs, hoping finally after 20 years that they will see a playoff game. It's been since Christmas Day 20 years ago in that classic when Miami in double overtime, Garo Yepremian, after Jan Stenerud had missed in overtime, Yepremian kicked the field goal that sent Miami to the Super Bowl. Horton again.
Well, that tight end, Horton's going to become a star football player with Marinovich as his passer, because he can go to those tight ends at the last second with good touch.
10 catches today for Horton. He had 43 coming in, tied for the lead, so he is the top receiver for Los Angeles this year with 53, counting his 10.
This is what Brent Jones did for the 49ers.
Marinovich down the middle. Touchdown! What a throw to Brown! The second time Marinovich and Brown have hooked up today. 3 touchdown passes for Marinovich in his debut.
What can you say? It's just beautifully done. No pass rush. Right in front of the numbers.
Now that one, he really threw hard. There was no softness to that. He drilled it.
So he's got the touch.
23 yards on the touchdown, and now the extra point try by Jeff Jager. And Los Angeles back within 6, 27-21. His 5th touchdown of the year as he beats J.C. Pearson, but the throw was right there.
And Pearson tried to make it more physical instead of just running with Brown. Again, no pass rush at all. There was a huge lane that Marinovich threw the ball through. Typically, you'd have somebody that could jump up and make it difficult to throw that ball. Yep, there it is. You knew it would happen. You know, this is the biggest change in Raider football I've seen in 5, 6, 8 years. This quarterback, because it'll be a different team now than we've been used to seeing.
Well, 21 points. The Raiders all year scored more than 21 only 4 times. Now down south in San Diego, where Denver trying to win the bye, still in doubt. 17-14. If Denver wins, they get the bye, and Houston will host the Jets next week.
Look at Philadelphia. Now, did they come on strong?
They're the finals from earlier. By the way, in that San Diego-Denver game, there's 7 minutes left. As you check the other scores on our Miller Lite 10-minute ticker. Cincinnati, disastrous year. Sam White, he's not one of those. All the rumors floating about all the coaches.
I think Sam's going to be sobered into doing a great job this next season.
Now for the Raiders, down by 6 as Kansas City looks for the onside kick. Jager hits a skidder. Stratford. Napoleon McCallum wrestles him down at the 22 as we go to New York and Bobcats. Dan Henning, one of those rumored to be coaching his last game with the current team, but after beating Miami last week and maybe pulling off another upset against Denver, going to be a tough call for Bobby Beathard. It's Barry Word to the 26-yard line. Now, the Raiders have not stopped Kansas City today. Kansas City hasn't punted the ball. Touchdown, touchdown, field goal, missed field goal, missed field goal, field goal, touchdown. So 7 possessions, all highly productive. I mean, they've been in position to score every time. Can Los Angeles finally stop Kansas City?
Well, Kansas City's got their eye. DeBerg does on that clock. They'll take every second off that clock he can. I'm sure they'll simply run the ball. And if they can get another 4 yards on this play, then it's going to be tough on the Raiders.
Now they stuff it this time as Word is hit by Lott and Benson and Townsend.
And I'm telling you, these Raiders will play for Marinovich. Just his style, his personality, and they can see a resourceful man in Marinovich. And that's what the defensive players, everyone else, really are alerted to and appreciate. They know they'll always have a chance with him.
Look at Marcus right there to offer all his encouragement. He's very fond of Marinovich. Todd McNair comes in. 3rd down and 6. They'll call it a long 5. DeBerg gets Rob Thomas right at the sticks as the tackle made by Gary Lewis. Let's see if it's enough for the 1st down. And Marty Schottenheimer coming right down to that stick to eyeball it.
Well, Thomas' quickness really helped there. He just went up
the 2-minute mark, or it'll be 4th and inches. 1st down.
Now that hurts.
Or helps, depending on your perspective. Now Archell has to start thinking about the timeouts, and remember, the Raiders have only 1 left. 1 timeout left. Kansas City by 6. Barbara to the Mexican border. Crowd of 65,000. Some of those headed for the parking lots as the Raider defense unable to halt Kansas City Steve DeBerg today, and the Chiefs benefiting 27-21, 2 minutes to go, and that'll be a turnover, a big defensive play to give Los Angeles hope. Word and Ricky Ellison after the stop calls a quick timeout, although 2 more seconds tick away. Winston Moss there as well. Let's look at our lineup tonight. Ronnie Lott into the has not performed up to their standards most of the season.
Well, as we spoke earlier in the game, they look unbeatable for 3 or 4 plays, then bang, an 8-yard run. Then they'll look terrific, then bang, a 9-yard run or a 20-yard pass. So it's a matter of giving up a play rather than playing bad defense.
On the other hand, we should credit the offensive line for Kansas City. They have moved the Raiders back. They've won the battle in the trenches today, and that's Grunard.
That's an excellent offensive group, and again they can pull out about 4 yards on that play.
John Alt.
I think that could do it timeout wise. Now it could very well be.
Davis, the official car rental company of the NFL. 1:48 left. 2nd and 2. Barry Word runs right over Davis and is close to a 1st down. Stop maybe a yard shy. Golick and Davis there. And another flag goes down. Well, these 2 teams going bad, and someone's been thrown out. The thumb is Howard Rose just thumbed someone out. This goes back to the start of the AFL. The Raiders and Chiefs. They perennially display their total disfavor, dislike of one another. Greg Townsend is gone.
Great player coming off the field, but one way or the other, you can't.
Personal foul on a defense, 15-yard penalty, number 93. Automatic first down. Number 93 is disqualified. First down.
I think there's a commissioner's fine that goes with that ejection. Not that today's player can't afford it.
So Townsend ejected, and some of the humiliation that comes with that announcement as he stands on the sidelines. Ball with a penalty to the 42-yard line of the Raiders, who have no timeouts left, and with 1:37 remaining in the 45 seconds left, this requires DeBerg to execute no more than the kneel down. And the sit down, Todd Marinovich, his day apparently over. And well done. I mean, the reviews have to be pretty good.
Darn good.
If not up to, that's right, darn good.
Really good. Now the Raiders are going to have to come up with some way to stop the Chiefs running game next week.
Executive producer Terry O'Neill, our coordinating producer John Feretzis, our director John Gonzalez. They all had a visit from Santa Claus last night. We don't have time to tell you about that. Associate director Will Belkey, production associate Jerome Ingram. Our thanks to Rosh Slingshot. He got one too from Santa. Schneiderman and Joe Costanza, and our West Coast friends of NBC, the men and women that brought you the sounds and sights of this game. And Kansas City will celebrate, and the tickets are still available apparently, but they'll be gone by tomorrow, as they will, for the first time in the history of that beautiful stadium, Arrowhead, finally they will get to cheer their home team in a playoff game. Kansas City and the Raiders, same two, next Sunday, the nightcap of the doubleheader in Kansas City. Congratulations to Marty Schottenheimer's Chiefs, and to the Raiders as well, who will have to go to the drawing boards and find out a way to stop the running game of the Chiefs. And Denver holds on. It'll be the Jets at Houston if Denver wins. Raiders at Kansas City. Buffalo and Denver would get the byes if Denver beats San Diego. Marty Schottenheimer and the Chiefs victorious over Todd Marinovich in impressive debut, 27-21. Be with NBC Sports next Sunday. Coverage of the AFC Wild Card game preceded by NFL Live. Check your local listings tonight. Erie, Indiana, Hot Country Night. A Mom for